Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder how our minds connect different ideas and feelings, and how we build up our own unique way of seeing the world? It is like having a hidden map in our heads that guides how we think and feel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating study that's created a new way to peek at these hidden belief maps. And it's called the triads task. Think about it like this. When you hear about something new, like maybe artificial intelligence or climate change, it doesn't just exist in isolation in your brain. It connects to all sorts of other ideas you already have. Maybe artificial intelligence makes you think of robots, jobs, or even the future. And each of those connections might have a little feeling attached to it, right? Some ideas might feel exciting, others may be a bit scary. Psychologists have been interested in these connections for ages, but studying them can be tricky. Often, researchers will ask people directly. They'll show you a statement, like artificial intelligence is good for society, and ask you to rate how much you agree. This is super common, using things like those 5-star rating systems. It's useful for understanding how much you like or dislike individual things. But what if we want to understand the whole network of ideas? How artificial intelligence connects to privacy, and how both of those connect to trust, and what feelings go along with all of it? That is where things get more complicated. One way researchers have tried to map these networks is through what they call cognitive affective maps, or CAMs. Imagine drawing your own map, putting down concepts like privacy and transparency, and then drawing lines between them, showing how you think they're related. Some lines might show a strong connection, others a weak one. You can even code your concepts to show if you feel positively or negatively about them. It sounds great, but it has a couple of problems. First, it is tough to ask people to perfectly draw out something so complex. Your brain's map is often messy and subconscious. Trying to draw it yourself can be like trying to describe a dream in perfect detail. It might not come out quite right, or you might just say what you think the researcher wants to hear. Second, when everyone draws their own map, they can look really different. Even if the ideas are similar, this makes it hard for scientists to compare them or combine them to see what groups of people think. So, what if there was a simpler, more standardized way to get at this hidden map? That's exactly what this study set out to do. The researchers developed something called the triads task. It is inspired by an older idea called the repertory grid technique, which is all about how people use their own internal constructs or reference points to make sense of the world. Here is how the triads task works. Imagine you're shown 3 words at a time. Let's say the words are openness, privacy, and trust. You are asked a simple question: which 2 of these words feel more alike to you, and which one is the odd one out? You do this over and over again with lots and lots of different combinations of 3 words. The magic happens in how they analyze your answers. By seeing which words you consistently group together, the researchers can calculate a similarity score for every single pair of words. So they can figure out how similar you think openness and trust are, or how similar you think privacy and trust are. These scores are like the building blocks of your belief network. They represent how close or far apart concepts feel to you in your mind. And what's really cool is that they can then take these numbers and turn them into a visual map. They use a technique called multidimensional scaling, which essentially takes those similarity scores and tries to arrange the words in a space where similar words are close together and different words are far apart. They also add the color coding for feelings, taking your initial ratings of how positive or negative each word felt. The result is a visual representation of your unique belief network. So, the big questions for this study were: is this triads task reliable? Does it give you consistent results if you do it again? And is it valid? Do the maps it creates actually reflect what people think? To test this, they got 56 participants. These folks had to know a bit about open science and digitization, which were the topics they used for their word lists. They had participants do the triads task twice, with about 2 weeks in between. This is key for checking reliability. If your scores are all over the place after 2 weeks, the method isn't very reliable. And what did they find? Pretty encouraging results for the similarity scores, meaning how connected people felt 2 concepts were. The reliability was really good. On average, individual participant scores were very similar between the 2 sessions, with a correlation of about 0.78. A correlation of 1 would be perfect, so 0.78 is quite strong. They also looked at the valence ratings, which is how emotionally positive or negative people felt about each word. These were also highly reliable, with a correlation of 0.81. This suggests that the triads task gives you a stable snapshot of how people connect ideas and feelings. But reliability is only half the story. What about validity? Do the generated maps actually match people's understanding? To test this, they did something clever called communicative validation. After participants did the task a second time, they were shown 4 different visualizations of a belief network. One was based directly on their own answers from the first session, the true visualization. Another had a bit of random noise added to their data, making it slightly less accurate. And 2 were completely random, just to see if people could tell the difference. And guess what? People were much better at picking the visualization that was truly based on their own data than the random ones. They chose the true or noisy, but still based on their data visualization significantly more often than the completely random ones. This is a strong sign that the maps generated by the triads task are indeed valid representations of people's belief networks. Now, let's talk about the so what. What does this mean for us and for research? The study authors point out that the triads task offers a unique advantage over the old draw your own map method. It's standardized, meaning it's the same process for everyone. This makes it easier to compare results across individuals and groups. It also avoids some of the pitfalls of asking people to explicitly describe their complex beliefs. Instead, you are just making simple judgments of similarity, and the complex network is built from those. This could reduce the pressure to be correct or say the right thing. One interesting observation from their data was about the concept of privacy. Generally, people didn't see privacy as very similar to concepts related to open science, which was expected since they were introduced as potentially conflicting ideas. This shows how the task can highlight these conceptual tensions. However, the authors also acknowledge some limitations. A key one is that the current triads task focuses on positive relationships between concepts, how similar they are. It doesn't easily capture negative relationships, like how one concept might actively oppose or suppress another, which is something traditional camps can represent. So, where could this go from here? The researchers suggest the triads task could be an amazing tool for exploring how people's beliefs are structured. It could be used to compare belief networks between different groups, say, for example, comparing the belief networks of scientists who strongly support open science versus those who are more hesitant. And I think this is where it gets really exciting for us daily. Imagine using these visualizations not just for research, but as a tool for self-reflection. If you could see your own belief map, you might spot surprising connections or inconsistencies. It could help you understand why you react to certain things the way you do. Or in a group setting like a family discussion or a team meeting, seeing these visual maps could help people understand each other's perspectives better, especially when there are disagreements. It could be a visual bridge to better communication. Overall, this study presents a really promising new way to understand the intricate web of beliefs and feelings that shape how we experience the world. The triads task seems to offer a reliable and valid method for mapping these complex networks, and its visualization potential is huge. It's a fantastic step towards demystifying the inner workings of our minds. So, what is your take on this? Do you think seeing your own belief map could be helpful? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into how our minds work, please hit that like button, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more fascinating research, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep understanding the amazing landscape of the human mind.